Welcome back to Hudson Valley Week in Review. I'm Amy Greene. We continue with the complete reinvention of Ulster County's Senior Meals on Wheels program. Participants will be provided better meal choices for home delivery, as well as extra care, which includes visits to at-risk seniors up to 5 times a week, making sure they're eating well and are essentially happy and healthy. Kelly McMullen is the director of Ulster County's Office for the Aging. She talks to us about how important the new program will be for the elderly in the county.
It's a big issue because too many seniors want to choose to live in their homes as long as possible. And when I say too many, it's because we don't really have sufficient resources to help them do that. This program moves in that direction in a large way. What we recognize is that having the eyes on the senior and knowing the senior well enough to note changes and to help them get their needs met. For example, they can't get their roof, the snow off the roof anymore, right? So we can help them with that, but we have to know that that's their problem. By seeing their home, entering their home, right? Being sensitive to their environment, we can help them with those things. Seniors are subjected to elder abuse. The scammers look at them as a group that is rife for the making, for elder abuse. If we're involved in their lives, we have a chance of knowing that they've been approached or that's happening with them. You can monitor their mail. How much mail are they getting? You can look at the mail and you can tell when they're being scammed. We had a family come in recently, and a woman sold her $300,000 home and was living in a boarding home. She had gone through $150,000 of her assets, of her money, to scammers, believing that she was giving money to good campaigns, good efforts. So there's a whole host of interventions that we can offer that will support seniors to be healthy and happy living in their homes. And Medicare does not pay. So people who don't reach Medicaid insurance, the Medicare population, there are no services that can help them do this. So that is the OFA mission, is to help people. And the county executive recognizes by putting money into this program and by having a not-for-profit agency who can be trained to do the intervention, recognize the problem, make the assessments, will go a tremendous way. Oh, it's very specific. This is state and federal money. So the meal is very prescribed. We have a registered dietitian who must ensure that the meal is at least 600 calories and meets all the minimum requirements of the program. So the registered dietitian approves the menus, works with a vendor, and there's heavy monitoring. So the kitchen has to be monitored by the registered dietitian on a regular basis. The meals have to be temped. So actually we've got staff and registered dietitians who ride in the vehicles and make sure that the temperature is the right that food is the right temperature at drop-off. So it's very heavily regulated, and to good end. The food has to be low salt. We have to pay attention to diabetic concerns. So we have a 5-week rotation right now on meals. So people in the program would not expect to have the same meal twice in 5 weeks. And I say, wow, I have chicken 3 times a week. Oh, they're beautiful. So you're not going to believe this. We didn't even know that there were volunteers involved in the program until the current vendor said, as of a certain date, we're going to weekly delivery. And what that did was that put all these food delivery volunteers out of work. So I started getting phone calls from people saying, hey, what's going on with the food program? I'm heard I'm laid off. You know, some of these people weren't even paid. Some people were paid mileage, but they were calling me and saying, what's going on? And then we had the seniors saying, what's going to happen to my home delivery staff? Like the seniors were concerned. Then I learned there was this host of volunteers, some of whom had been delivering meals in the same geographic area to the same seniors for 10, 12, and 15 years. We met with them, and the county executive realized, okay, this is what it's about. This is about these relationships. And like he said, there's some seniors, this is the only person they're going to see in a day, or for several days, perhaps. So we're bringing them all back. We've called all of them. They all want to come back. And the beautiful thing is Gateway is guaranteed a minimum mileage reimbursement of 50 cents a mile. This is like much more than they were getting. So we're really excited about that too. Gateway has been serving in this community for over 50 years. They are a very reputable human service agency, so getting them to step up and be interested in providing this service is crucial. And I worked for the mental health department at the administrative level for 11 years before I came in to take the director of the Office for the Aging position. So I have partnered with Gateway before in multiple projects, and they've always delivered. So we didn't have any doubt at all that in terms of the human side, food baseline, we knew they'd do that. But the whole extra, the plus side of this, and the Right at Home program, we had no doubt that they wouldn't be able to deliver on that. I would love if they'd call me, because really we would like as many. And the beautiful thing is, you know, the volunteers that we discovered that had these long-term relationships with seniors, we called them and said, now there's going to be training required, you know, like quite a bit of training. Every one of them were like, yeah, great, I'd love to learn about that. I'd love to be able to do a mental status exam. I'd love to be able to do the mini cog. I'd love to hear about elder abuse prevention. So if there are people in the community that would like to come and be a part of this program and be trained as kind of a geriatric care coordinator and join in, we'd be happy to have you. Oh, emotional. I mean, just honestly, in December, it was like my darkest hour. And the county exec, like I said in the press conference, just said, I'm not going to have this. And there are counties around the state that are going to only weekly delivery and going to frozens only. And he said, I will not have that. And honestly, in that moment, I didn't know what the solution was. But by him holding the gauntlet up high and saying, I will not have this, you know, then you have to look for the solution. And then it became a really creative process of identifying what do we need and meeting with those volunteers and finding out what was important to the senior, meeting with seniors who received the meals, what was important to you. And it came together. Right? Then we began to identify the need, and then it was, we wanted a local vendor, we want to keep the jobs in the county, we don't want a for-profit vendor. It just started to build, and we created the vision, and then we had a partner.
Up next, County Executive Michael Hein has also deemed this week as Healthy Ulster County Week. He talks to us about that when we return.